Today is September 14th, and this is part 22 of our study of the ministry of Jesus. If you remember, Jesus was thrown out of Nazareth and went down to Capernaum. And then on the Sabbath day in Capernaum, Jesus cast a demon out of a man. And then he went down to Peter's house. And there he healed Peter's mother-in-law. And the news spread, and that same day, in the evening, people from all over the country came to be healed. And he healed all of them. Then early the next morning, Jesus got up early and went out to pray. And then the people looked for him and found him, and Jesus then began to preach and teach in all the synagogues in Galilee. And you remember we left Jesus as he was teaching by the shore of the Sea of Galilee. We assume it was close to Capernaum because Peter was there with his boat, and Peter was from Capernaum. Jesus came and saw these two boats, and because of the crowd, he got in one of the boats and pushed out and began to teach. And after he taught, Simon Peter and his brother Andrew and James and John were all fishermen. They were partners, and they were washing their nets from the night. So Jesus said to Peter, take your boat, go out in the deep, and cast out your nets, plural, nets. And Peter answered and said, wait a minute, we've been fishing all night. I'm a professional fisherman. We've fished all night long, didn't catch a thing. I don't think we're going to catch anything now, but because you said so, I'm going to cast out the net, one, singular. Now we're going to stop right there for just a little side note about this boat. In 1986, there was a drought in Israel, and the water level of the Sea of Galilee went way down. There were two men who were amateur archaeologists, were out walking around the Sea of Galilee where the water had gone down, trying to find anything, and they saw these things sticking out of the water, and they thought they might have found an old boat. So they went and got some real archaeologists, and sure enough, it was a boat. It took them days to uncover it from the mud. It was so delicate, they had to cover it with foam. They couldn't lift it because it would have broken into pieces. They covered it with foam and floated it down to where they could get out of the water. They then had to very carefully remove all the foam, and they soaked it in a solution to preserve it for years. And today it's on display in its own museum there in Israel. It has been dated to the time of Jesus, to the 1st century. So it is possible that this boat could have been on the water on the Sea of Galilee while Jesus was there, and while Peter and Andrew and James and John were fishermen on the lake, this boat could have been somewhere on the lake. Now, there's no evidence whatever that Jesus was ever in this boat, or if it was ever Peter's boat, but it's a boat from that time period. Now, the boat is 27 feet long. It is 7.5 feet wide and about 4 feet deep. It has a flat bottom on it, so it could go in shallow water. It had a place for 4 men to row it, and also had a place for a sail, so it could be sailed on the sea. Now, this is the kind of boat that I'm sure that Jesus sat in and taught. And it is the kind of boat that Jesus said to Peter, go out into the deep water and throw your nets out. And Peter took the boat and went out and threw out the net. Now then, if you're at all interested, you can go to the internet and just search for Jesus boat. Although it's not Jesus boat, that's what it's called. And it's very interesting about seeing this boat that was discovered in the mud and the muck on the Sea of Galilee. Well, our time has run out again, but Peter went out and began to do what he was told to do in a small way. So we'll pick up right there tomorrow and talk some more about Peter and his fishing business. So until then, I hope you have a fantastic day today.